Have you ever noticed a little lever on the back of your drum sander and wondered, what is that for? And so you read the manual and it's still not very clear. And so even if you know what it's for, should it be normally in the up position or normally in the down position? That's the topic we're going to get into now. My stand has the locking casters on it, and one of the first upgrades I did was to enclose this lower metal base, and that's just perfect, so I can grab my abrasive wraps out of there and it doesn't really get in the way of the tables, whether they're up and down, so that's been a great add-on. But let me spin this thing around and I'll show you that lever in question. And there it is, this mysterious lever on the back of your drum sander, and it doesn't really click into place, it just kind of sits there. Normally it'll be in this up position, or you can flip it in this down position, and it doesn't really have an end stop except for way down there, and it can just kind of be positioned anywhere in that range. I think Laguna's manual does a pretty good job on this 1938 describing things like these onboard tools for tensioning and tracking your belt, and I have a separate video that goes over all the detailed adjustments, including the spring roller adjustments on this, which I haven't seen discussed elsewhere, so all that's available down in the description for you as my video resources. But this is called the fast lever. Normally you will have it in this upright position for panels that are no wider than your drum sander, 19 inches in this case. But if you do want to sand a wide panel, you have the option of dropping this at least partially down. So I might start at an angle about like that and run a wide panel through and then flip it and run the other side and just kind of inspect the panel along the middle and see if there's a ridge or a line that's developed. If you do still have a line in the middle, you may need to drop that down a little bit further, and let's talk for a second about what that does. So you might be able to see there's a little shaft with a flat on it, so when you're in this position the flat can't lift anything, but as you rotate that, the round of the shaft turns that way and it can actually slightly lift up the inboard side of the conveyor belt. And if your fast lever won't move like this, it's probably just that somebody over tightened this 5mm Allen bolt there. You need to just barely snug that up, but not so much that it restricts any motion of the lever. So cranking down that fast lever kind of jacks up the inboard side of the conveyor belt, and it just helps to avoid those ridges and lines that you might otherwise develop. And it's an interesting thing the way it does that. It doesn't actually affect the position of the drum itself, it's just moving the conveyor. But if you think about it, raising the inboard side of that conveyor is kind of like increasing the distance between the drum and the conveyor on the outboard side, so it kind of softens that angle a little bit and you can see how it might work. So for normal trim stock or panels that aren't too wide, just keep that in the up position and only drop that when the panels are wider than your sander. So if that fast lever is so great, how come we don't keep it in the down position all the time? And the simple answer is because it actually sands at a slight taper. So by the time you sand both sides, the overall panel develops a very subtle camber, maybe 3 or 4 thousandths of an inch on each side, but that's just something you don't want to develop if you don't need that function. And if you're getting gouging, snipe, or lines in your workpieces, be sure to check out my video on how to do all the fine tuning and calibration on this, like drum alignment, adjusting the height and tension of your roller bars, plus tensioning and tracking the belt. If you like this topic, give me a quick thumbs up and sub up and stay tuned to the channel so you don't miss the next video. So that's the fast lever in a nutshell. Just keep it in the up position for narrower panels, or if you're going to sand a wide panel that requires a 2-pass method, just flip it down somewhat until that ridge or line down the center of the panel is feathered out for you. And also check the description box. I've got 3 videos on this sander. One is how to enclose the metal base on a 1938. One is a very detailed review. And then the third is actually calibration procedures and how to fix common problems for this sander.